The 2024 NBA draft is only 10 days away, guys. The clock is ticking. In today's video, we're going to be making a mock draft based on what I think slash is going to happen with these teams and their picks. For this video, we're going to do no trades. I will have a video with trades, probably like 5 days out from the draft. But anyways, as you guys can tell, this is my very first video on this channel. Really quickly, what this channel is all about is we're here to speak our minds, anything, everything NBA basketball related. We're not worried about ruffling any feathers. We're not going to step on any eggshells. We're here to speak the truth, speak the minds of the community. I'm going to be saying what y'all are thinking. Please, if you like this video, give my future videos a chance and help me grow. It would mean the absolute world to me. Enough yapping on my part. Let's get into this mock draft. A lot of people say this is a weak draft. Maybe I disagree because this is I'm not a huge college guy. This is one of the first years I really started trying to pay attention to foreign prospects and college athletes. So I disagree, man. I think this is a nice draft. A lot of not superstar potential players. Like there's no Wemby, Zion, or anything like that. But there are a bunch of guys that could really help teams potentially in the future push them over the lead, push them over the edge. But yeah, so I don't think it's a weak draft. Let's get started. Somehow, some freaking way, the Atlanta Hawks mustered up the first overall pick. Lucky, good for them, man. This really helps them. It kind of bails them out from a lot of issues they have. A lot of people, I keep saying, like media outlets, oh, which one is going to get traded? Trae Young or DeJounte Murray this season? Newsflash, none of them are going to get traded. I don't know why that is such a big narrative. I honestly just think people are trying to make shit up at this point. There's no way either of them get traded, especially after all they gave up for DeJounte Murray. And this first overall pick solidifies that this team is basically going to look the exact same next season, which is okay, man. You're adding the first overall pick, Alexander Sarr, to that roster, which honestly, I love the fit. Next to Trae Young and DeJounte, he can make up for a lot of the defensive relapses that they have, or lapses, not relapses. But yeah, Alexander Sarr, he's pretty much been projected to go number one ever since the lottery, even before that was announced. But I would compare him to Triple J. I think that's a good comparison. Really, really good defensively, really good shot blocker, shot alterer, really good at chase down blocks, blocking from the back, front, blocking shots from everywhere, man. Really good help side defense. So he's going to be he's going to be a defensive stud. I also think he can guard on the wing pretty easily, or he will be able to in the league after a couple of seasons. Offensively, really pretty looking jump shot for a big. Can hit it from from the midi. Can stroke that thing from three, just like Triple J. And he also has some decent little post moves. I was watching some more highlights recently. He does have a fadeaway jump shot in his arsenal, but I don't know how good it's going to be in the league. But yeah, I think this is a perfect fit for Atlanta. They're so lucky they got the first overall pick, man. They're so lucky. It should have been the Bulls, but regardless, they get their power forward / center of the future. I don't know if you want to play him at the 4 and Okongwu at the 5. Capella's got you got to trade Capella. You got to trade Capella before you trade Young or DeJounte. Capella, I rock with him, but he should have been off this team 14 seasons ago. So with this, you have your front court of the future. You have Okongwu and Sarr. Like I said, Alexander Sarr, I do think he deserves this number 1 overall pick. Love his versatility on defense. I think his offensive game will translate and grow. His counting stats aren't that impressive, but that's okay, man. The Hawks are very happy with his first overall selection. The Washington Wizards. Coming off giving Bradley Beal possibly the worst contract of all time, they find themselves with the 2nd overall pick in this year's draft. This team needs a center and they need a point guard, but this team can't afford to pass up on talent. And the most talented guy in this draft behind Sarr, maybe even above Sarr, is Richard Shea. Now, a little bit about him really quickly. I'm sure you guys already know who's watching, but this guy is a stud, man. Played really well in I forgot the league that this French team plays in, but played really well in the playoffs. And you got to keep in mind, in the playoffs in the EuroLeagues, you're playing professionals basically. You're not playing college kids. You're playing grown ass men. And he was getting buckets, man. This guy is a 3-and-D phenom. Really long, lanky. I think he can guard multiple positions. Really good catch and shoot. Versatile offensive bag. Really good at attacking the rim. Like I said, catch and shoot. The handle's a little lackluster, but that's okay. He is really young. Like I said, the Wizards do need a 5 or a 1, but I think Richard Shea is too good to pass up on to maybe get like a Dillingham or Topage. I really like Reece Charset's upside. I think people are kind of sleeping on him, just saying he's going to be like a 3-and-D guy. I think he could be a future All-Star, maybe future multiple-time All-Star. The issue with the fit with the Wizards is they do have 3 wings already, basically. They have Kutabale, Denny, and Kuzma. But that's fine. I would draft Reece Charset, move Kutabale to the bench, and eventually once you move off of Kuzma, you put Kutabale back into the starting lineup, and you got 3 or 4 two-way wings that can contribute in multiple ways on the floor. I love this pick, man. Reece Charset, easy pick for the Wizards. Pick 3, a bit of a tough one. Like I said, we're not doing trades in this one. That'll be in the next video, but I do think maybe this trade gets traded to like Brooklyn, Chicago, maybe. But excuse me. If they were to select someone, it would obviously be Reed Sheppard. Oh my God, excuse me. I'm losing it over here, but Reed Sheppard, probably the best shooter in the draft. This guy's an athlete, tied for the highest vertical in the combine. This guy is super intelligent. Really, he's just a winning basketball player. Really pretty looking jump shot. Good at attacking the basket. He is a really good vertical, like I just said. This guy is a pest on defense. Really good in the stocks department, which is steals and blocks, for those of you who don't know. So he is a very capable defender. Really good shot creator. Actually, I don't know about no, he's a good shot creator, really good shooter. Like I said, probably the best 3-point shooter in the draft. His cons, he is small, like he is a really good defender, but you can only do so much at 6'1". So like he's probably gonna get bullied really bad by certain bigger players, forwards and all that. But I think he's a perfect fit for the Rockets. They drafted Thompson last year. This team wants to win now. They're kind of done with the whole rebuilding thing. They had an excellent second half of the season. They made a play-in push. They just had a really bad start to the season. I love their coach. And I think Reed Sheppard's a good guy to add next to Sengun, Smith, Thompson, Green. This guy can come off the bench, be your sixth man, do a little bit of everything for you. And eventually maybe could be your starting shooting guard or point guard if they end up getting rid of Fred VanVleet. I've been seeing multiple mock drafts where the Rockets take Donovan Clingan, which I just think is idiotic. I don't know what they are thinking. Like, first of all, I don't want to see those two on the floor together at the same time. The spacing would be negative. Defensively, I guess like Sengun at the 4 wouldn't be terrible, but I think he would get destroyed by certain forwards on defense. And I don't want Clingan to be like my backup center. That's just weird with the 3rd overall pick. Rockets easily take Reed Sheppard here. 4th overall pick. Man, the San Antonio Spurs are in a beautiful spot. They get Wemby last season, and now they have 2 top 10 picks. Lucky them. Lucky them. Obviously, they do need a point guard. That is the thing that should be addressed. But I have them taking Buzelis at 4, and they're going to wait till 8th to get their point guard. Because at 8th, there's going to be multiple point guards available. There is no way in hell a talent like Montez Buzelis is going to be available at 8. This guy's stock has gone up like crazy the past month or so. He called out Reece Charset to a 1v1 at the combine, which I thought was low-key raw. A little bit about him. This guy is he's got probably the best motor in the motor/mentality in the whole draft. This guy is a bucket, 3-level scorer, can spread the floor with the 3, really good help side defense, on-ball defense. Handles a bit lackluster, a little all over the place, but that's okay. Him or Ron Holland are the best players out of the G League Ignite. They had an absolutely atrocious season. I don't even think they got 5 wins, but I'm not a huge G League guy, but still, I think Buzelis' talent is too good to pass up on at 4 when there's going to be multiple guards that I think all of them low-key could fit with Wemby and the Spurs at 8. So they're going to take the upside with Buzelis, and this gives you a small forward/power forward to pair with Wemby. Wemby doesn't have to do everything on defense now. Buzelis, like I said, is a good help side defender. He's a 3-level scorer. So this will pull a lot of pressure off of Wemby in the front court. Buzelis is super talented. I can see this guy being easily a multiple-time All-Star in the future. Probably, arguably has the most upside in the draft. Definitely top 5. So Spurs very happy adding to their front court with Wemby. Number 5, the Detroit Pistons. I for sure see this trade getting picked. This pick getting traded. I'm backwards. But this team is the definition of we've been shit for maybe like 14, 15 years in a row. We want to be good. We want to make the play-ins. We have our young pieces. We have our Cunninghams. We have Ivy. We have Thompson. We have Duren. We have multiple cornerstone pieces, but we go on 28-game losing streaks. not a lot of players here are going to help you with that, but based on what I'm hearing, the Detroit Pistons needs, they're going to take the most win now ready player out of the draft, senior from Tennessee, Dalton Connect. Him or Shepard are the best shooters in the draft by far. This guy is a bucket, 3-level scorer again, really deep bag, just knows how to score the basketball. Defense is kind of mid. I don't think he'll ever be a great defender, but he is the most win now ready player, at least for the Pistons available. The Pistons desperately need shooting, and I don't think they can afford to take like a Tijan Salon or something like that. I do like Holland here, but they really need shooting. And I think NBA GMs and all those like fancy people are much higher on Dalton to Connect than me, at least. I don't think he has the highest ceiling, but I get his floor, and he'll be able to contribute day one for you Detroit Shittins fans. Yeah. Sorry, I had to get that out. Okay, the Hornets. This is a tougher one because I low-key like the idea of them taking Klingon here. Him and LaMelo would be super fun to watch. But they do have Mark Williams is the thing. And I think Charlotte and Charlotte fans are pretty high on Williams. Really young. I'm pretty sure he's only been in the league for like 1 or 2 seasons. His issue though is it's hard for he misses a lot of games, man. I don't know how many games he's missed, but like I had him on my fantasy team last year, and he was out of the lineup for like damn near half the season. As you can see the stats, though, he's a stat stuffer. Um, Pretty decent defense. I do think Klingon is already a better player, low key, but centers are kind of easy to come by in the NBA. At least these type of builds, the Klingon Mark Williams build. So I think they're gonna take his teammate Stephon Castle. I do think also Stephon Castle is just going to be a better NBA player than Klingon. I think he has a much higher. Yeah, I have the Hornets taking Stephon Castle here. I think he's a perfect fit to put in between LaMelo and Miller. Shout out to Hornets for taking Miller also last season. That was a big W. I was team Scoot, but they proved me wrong. Stephon Castle, though, this guy's a winner. Really good connecting combo guard. I think he can play really well next to LaMelo. First of all, LaMelo misses at least like 15, 20 games a season, which sucks because he is such an electric talent. And I do rock with his game. He's a bit annoying, LaMelo, but I can't deny the talent. And I think Stephon Castle is the perfect counter guard, like counterpart to him. Stephon Castle is a really good on-ball defender, really big for the guard position, doesn't have the best jump shot, but he's really good at cutting, attacking the basket, making winning plays, which that's what Charlotte needs, man. He's a champion coming off that championship from UConn. There's like rumors about him wanting to only go to places where he'll be the lead guard and have the ball in his hands a lot. Bro, you're a rookie. You do not have that type of pull. You're not Wembanyama. You're not LeBron. You're not Zion. Get that out of your head. Don't be weird. Go play with LaMelo and Brandon Miller. And I think they have their new big three. And Charlotte fans are very happy with this pick. I'm really high on this guy. But he will never fall to my Bulls. Okay, 7th pick, the Portland Trailblazers get their center of the future in Donovan Klingon. Now I know what you're saying, but bro, they have their center of the future. They have DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton, bro, is not your center of the future. If I'm Portland, bro, I do not want him to be my center of the future. I get the talent and upside of Ayton, but don't like his attitude. He's scared of the cold weather. He's scared of like ice. Like he won't go to practice if there's like ice outside. Very lackluster defender. If he had the mentality of like Luka or even like Anthony Edwards or Tatum, Ayton would damn near be a top 10 player in the league. He is so physically gifted. He is really talented on the offensive end of the floor, but I don't love his fit with Scoot, Simons, and Sharp. I want a more defensive minded center. Donovan Klingon, I'd compare him to Rudy Gobert, probably the best rim protector in the draft. Him or Sarr. Really good lob threat, very limited offensive game outside of the paint. Can't really shoot for shit. His free throw percentage is atrocious. But Klingon, this dude's a behemoth. This is the number one guy I want the Bulls to take. My favorite team is the Bulls, by the way, but there's no way in hell he falls to 11. I could see him going higher than 7 for sure, but just the way things are playing out based on who needs a big man, because he's not versatile at all. He can't really play the 4. He's strictly a 5. He's very limited on what he does, but he's really good at what he does. But yeah, Portland gets their defensive anchor of the center. I'm very happy if I'm Portland. Okay, this is where San Antonio gets a guard. I do think low-key they could trade one of these picks, but This one, they're going to take their European guard. We know how San Antonio feels about those European players, and I don't blame him. No, Nikola Topic, low-key, I could have seen him going second overall if he didn't tear his ACL or whatever, or partially tear it. I don't know which one it was, but a little bit about Topic. Really elite passer, best passer in the draft, best playmaker in the draft, good at attacking the basket, nice, sexy little layup package, nice floater game, really good bailout passes. Like when he's driving into the paint, he notices it's clogged. He can kick it out to someone for three. Dude 6'7", he can see over plenty of defenders to make nice ass passes. He'll be making sexy ass passes to Wemby the rest of his career. The jump shot looks a little iffy, a little sketchy, not great splits, but I don't care about that. He's going to be fine. He's going to the Spurs with Popovich. His shooting is going to increase. He's a very high IQ level player. Probably my favorite guard in the draft. I'm a sucker for these foreign tall point guards, but yeah, the Spurs get two bad white boys to play with Wemby, and take your time with Topic. I know he's coming off all those injuries. He doesn't need to be playing day one. I wouldn't be surprised if he misses like half of the season, but still, he has the most upside of all these point guards behind Castle, maybe even above Castle, but he's off the board. So the Spurs use their 2 picks wisely. Okay. Memphis Grizzlies. They're pretty lucky to have this 9th pick. Very underwhelming season last season, but it was just because of injuries and Ja being a weirdo. This roster is really nice. It's a really loaded roster. I think people forget they got Marcus Smart. So Memphis will be competing next season. I can see them being a top 5, 6 seed easily. So I feel like they do want a win now player. This team's already pretty good defensively. They need a center. I was tempted to get Kel'el Ware because I really like his fit next to Triple J, but Ron Holland, man, it's kind of crazy this guy fell to 9. I have him in my top 5 personally. In terms of like talent and upside, this guy's a monster athlete and defender. He'll be able to come in day one and defend 1 through 4 easily for the Grizzlies. Pretty sus looking jump shot, pretty terrible shooting splits, but once again, I give these players faith that it won't be like I give these players faith that their shooting percentages will go up in the future. This guy's playing on the G League Ignite. Like, what is really going on in the G League Ignite? Who's coaching it? Like, what plays are they running? I'm not huge on that at all. I think he should have played in college, but still, this guy like a year ago, like 6 months ago, was a top 5 pick, a lock at that. I low-key think he's going to be better than Buzelis, but based on what I'm hearing and like what the GMs are going to do, I think he falls in 9, but that's totally fine, man. He fits in perfectly with the Grizzlies culture. 10. This is a tough team, man. Utah fans are weird. First of all, thank the NBA lords that you got rid of these yellow and black highlighter jerseys. Worst jerseys of all time, arguably. Don't know what they were thinking. But they replaced them with the purple jerseys, so they're up now. Those are some sexy ass jerseys. But seems weird, man. I don't like this roster at all. Just looking at it makes me kind of confused, a little head sick. But they're in a great spot. They have plenty of young talent. They have plenty of draft picks. So like, and they managed to just win games. So like, I'm just being a hater. What do they need though? Like they did just get Keontae George, but Dillingham is just too good to pass up on. Here could be your 1/2 combo guard of the future. Dillingham, this guy's electric, absolute bucket, another 3-level scorer. One of the best shooters in the draft, probably top 3. Really fastest player in the draft for sure. Super shifty. His issue though is, as you can see here, he is 6'1", below a $170. This guy is tiny, man. He's tiny, tiny, tiny. So he's going to get bullied pretty hard on the defensive end by pretty much, I don't know, anyone. But still, I think his talent, his upside is way too good to pass up on at 10. And like, Jazz, man, just keep getting that talent, keep getting those assets. I'm sure Colin and Clarkson are going to be gone this season. But I like Dillingham here. I like the fit here. All right. Bulls organization, Bulls front office, I'm watching you. This is the most important pick in the draft. Based on the way things have fallen, I'm taking Cody Williams here. Now, I think the Bulls are going to trade up low-key, but they do we need some forwards. We need some forward depth. Like I said, Donovan Clingan would be my first pick here, but we're taking Cody Williams at 11. We're stealing him from the Thunder. Sorry, you do not get to play basketball with your brother. We're taking that privilege away from you. Sorry, Oklahoma. We're here to ruin the party. But Cody Williams, pretty raw prospect, as you can see by the numbers, not super impressive. But this guy is really versatile scorer, nice looking jump shot, really pretty looking three. Had a really good year shooting the three ball, even though his clip wasn't that high. He's a good defender, long, lanky. He needs to put some size out of that frame, but most players do when they get to the league, so I'm not worried about that. I like his fit. He could be I think he can learn a lot from DeMar DeRozan and Alex Caruso, because unfortunately, the Bulls, like what they really need to do with this pick and just in general, they need to blow their team the fuck up. I'm so tired of being mid. I'm sick of being in mid. I'm sick of being in the middle of the pack. Ugh. Sorry guys, I just got to vent really quickly. The Bulls, man, I get you want to recreate that one year when Lonzo was healthy. That was such a fun year to be a Bulls fan, but those times are gone, man. Lonzo's never gonna be the same. That freak injury. Everyone's getting older. Vucevic is a fraud. You got to blow the team up, but they're not going to. They just signed Vooch to a contract. They're probably going to sign tomorrow. I do think LaVine will get traded, but other than that, this team's probably going to look the exact same. So why not add a young piece that can learn from our veterans? I think he's going to fit in well next to Patrick Williams, next to Kobe. Like I said, he can guard multiple positions. Really good jump shot. Good at attacking the basket. I think his biggest flaw is that he's raw. Not the greatest handle. He's a young raw prospect, but so much upside. I would love to see Cody Williams. And plus, he probably has like the motor, the mindset of his brother J-Dub, who's an absolute monster. I love J-Dub. So Cody Williams, a very safe pick. Very safe pick. I love it. Also, I don't know if Cody Williams will fall that far. I'm a little confused on like how teams are looking at him. Because I feel like low-key, if he didn't have the last name Williams, I don't think he would be projected to be in the top 10 for sure, but with that name attached to it, I do think it adds something. But I see him falling to 11. I do. Okay, the Thunder, they want a win now player. They were just in the conference finals. Oh no, they weren't. They were in the semifinals. I'm assuming so they either need a center or a point guard. I'm assuming Giddey won't be on this team much longer. He doesn't fit really well with SGA and what they're doing down there. So we're gonna have him take Devin Carter. Yeah, excuse me again. This is probably the best defensive guard in the draft, best rebounding guard in the draft for sure. Really solid season at Providence. 3-level scorer, again, has a really good three-pointer. I like his, and I think he could fit and play off ball next to SGA. Because let's be real, SGA is probably going to be handling the ball most of the time. But, you know, when SGA goes to the bench, even when SGA is playing, Carter can play on and off ball and just contribute in multiple ways. Not the best playmaker, but on defense, I think he makes up for that. I think he fits the culture that OKC is going for. And he's experienced. Like you could tell he's a junior. I think he's going to be able to contribute and help the Thunder make another nice playoff run next season. I do think the Bulls low-key are going to be the ones to draft him. Apparently, he was promised by a lottery team that if he was on the board, they would take him. And based on like what teams need, it's looking like that's the Bulls. I think the Bulls are going to take him low-key, especially if Williams isn't on the board. But I am very high on Carter. I wouldn't be too mad if the Bulls took Carter. Okay, the Kings. This team's in trouble. The Kings are in trouble. They didn't make the playoffs last season. They got bounced into play-in after that really successful season they had, where they got bounced by the Warriors. So like, Kings, man, you're on mediocrity fraud watch. I'm just saying, all those years being mid, you have that one really great season, and then you miss the play-in, miss the playoffs. Not a good look. I get the West is deep, but like, this team is win now. I think Malik Monk is going to get traded. This team is win now, but once again, I think the talent of TJ Salon is too good to pass up on here. This guy is basically a slightly discounted version of Richard Shea. Can guard multiple positions. Really nice, pretty looking jump shot, three-pointer. You know, pretty okay handles. He played pretty well in France also in the playoffs. I just think, I don't know if he'll be able to contribute day one, especially with the Kings, but he does fit like their roster needs kind of. But I think, yeah, his talent is just too good to pass up on here for the Kings. And you know what? I'm talking myself into it. I do think he can contribute and play along with this Kings roster in year one. I do. Okay, last pick of the lottery. The Blazers. So we have them taking Clinton. I'm gonna have them take a guy whose stock has been going up a lot. I can see this guy just being really attractive to NBA GMs. Just seems like a winning player who can do a little bit of everything. Tristan da Silva out of Colorado. He's low-key a better player than Cody Williams is right now, but we're drafting for win now, or we're drafting for potential. But I think Portland can afford to draft an older guy because they already have so many young pieces. And Portland, again, they have multiple young cornerstones. I do think they want to start winning games as soon as possible, but it's just not possible in the West. The West is too damn deep, and you're not good enough. But I think Scoot is going to have a big sophomore year. I'm really getting kind of triggered by people shitting on Scoot. Like, oh, I would take Jamie Jaquez over Scoot Henderson in a redraft. Would you really? Would you really? That's just insane in my opinion. Give the dude some time to grow, man. He once again, he came from the G League. Like the point guard is the hardest position to play in the league, in my opinion. But yeah, Tristan da Silva will be a guy who can contribute on all facets of the floor. And I like his fit with Portland. Okay, Miami. They're going to take Jared McCain here. The best point guard available, which is what they need. They need a point guard. This guy can spread the floor. He can shoot the three really well, which is what the Heat need. I don't know if Jimmy Butler, how much longer he's going to be around with all that drama, but once again, I see this team being virtually identical than it was last season. So, and I love Jared McCain as a fit here. He could be able to play on and off ball next to Jimmy, next to Tyler. He can throw some lobs up to Bam, Adebayo, and yeah. Okay, the Sixers, they also want a win now player. I think there will be an excellent team next season. I think they'll add probably Paul George or something, or DeMar DeRozan, Levine to their team. This is tough. I'm going to have them taking Jacoby Walter. I think I'm really high on this guy. I know a lot of people aren't, but really good catch and shoot 3-point shooter, really good defender. He could be a nice little 3-and-D wing / guard that can come off the bench and help the Sixers during crunch time in the playoffs, even in the regular season. I like his fit next to Embiid and Maxey. He could play off the ball with Maxey, catch and shoot player, like I said. Embiid, bodying dudes in the post, kick it out to Walter for three. I can totally see that being a thing. I'm much higher on this guy than a lot of people. I low-key like him a little more than McCain, but I get it. Okay. Now, guys, I'm going to be very straightforward with you. If you think for a damn second that at 17, the Lakers are not selecting Bronny James, you're living in imagination Candyland. They are for sure drafting Bronny at 17 for multiple reasons. Obviously, he's not a top 20 prospect by any means. I'm not trying to disrespect the other players above him, but what are the Lakers' main objective? Keep LaDaddy, keep LeBron, keep LeGM happy. And how do you do that? You draft his freaking son. I don't think he's a terrible basketball player by any means. I think he could definitely be like a role player in this league. He reminds me of he compared himself to like Derek White, Marcus Smart. I can see that. Very raw talent. He's not going to contribute to wins at all at the first season. But if you think for a second that the Lakers are going to take a player like Khalil Ware or like Yves Messi or something like that over the son of LeBron James, you're crazy. And people online, like the YouTubers I watch, their argument is that the Lakers, they do need a win now player, which is true. They do need it. They don't have any of their draft picks in the future, pretty much. They have no young talent on this team at all. But that's not what they're going to do, man. And also, if let's say the Lakers take Khalil Ware at 17, which I love. I love that fit for them. They don't have another pick until the 50s if they don't trade. And if I'm a team in like the 30s, late 20s, I'm taking Bronny James. I'm not drafting the 31st ranked prospect in the draft over Bronny James. Maybe that's just like a casual mindset of mine. but I'm taking a chance on the GOAT's kid, basically. I'm taking that chance. I don't see where the confusion is. Like, it's such an obvious pick at 17. Cool issues. I accidentally missed the Orlando tick, but I had them taking Carl Carrington, Bub Carrington. I just like that fit. I think Orlando needs another point guard that can shoot the three. They don't need a point guard and a center. I just think his potential is too high to pass up on here for the Magic. But sorry about that, Magic fans. I didn't mean to do y'all bogus like that. Okay, so we're kind of getting into the 20s here at 19. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I do not know a lot about some of these prospects, so I'm not gonna sit there and act like I do, but I'll let you know when I hit my casual wall as a college fan. But this pick is easy. The Toronto Raptors desperately need a nice little young center. I don't know why the hell they traded for Jakob Poeltl. That was a terrible trade. I'm pretty sure that the 8th pick was from that trade with the Spurs. But anyways, Zach Edey, arguably a top 10, 15 collegiate player of all time. He's from Canada, and the Raptors need a center, so it's just a match made in heaven. I do get the concerns with him not being able to translate to the league, but at 19, man, I'm cool with taking a chance on that. Like I said, a top 15 collegiate player ever. He'll get you some ticket sales. I mess with this pick for the Raptors. Okay. The Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't love this fit, but I haven't taken Isaiah Collier. People forget about a year ago, Collier was projected to go top 5. He just had a pretty poor season at USC. USC in general had a very mediocre season. They had a very high potential or expectations, but did not meet them. But I think Isaiah Collier, I don't mind the fit. He's a bulldog. This guy's a little tank, pretty good on the defensive end, really good at attacking the basket, working the pick and roll, passing in the pick and roll. Not the best shooter, but I think it's going to develop. And he can come off the bench for Garland and Mitchell and, replace Garland if he ever leaves. I just think Collier is the right pick here for Cleveland. I think letting him fall any farther would be a little disrespectful. Okay, at 21, I think this is a perfect scenario for the Pelicans. The Pelicans need a center that could stretch the floor next to Zion, and that's exactly what Kelowna Ware is. Another 3-level scorer, has a really nice looking jump shot from the 3 and the midi. He's inconsistent, but I do consider him a stretch big. Really, really cool looking when he catches lobs. Really good lob catcher. Really nasty dunker. Pretty good at the defensive end, altering shots. But I like his fit next to Zion because you need a center that can defend and shoot a little with Zion. And Valanciunas, he's good offensively next to Zion, but like defensively, I don't love it. They get their center of the future. Okay. This is tough. The Phoenix Suns need a win now player desperately. They have pretty much no flexibility. They're going to look the exact same last season. It was just I loved watching the whole Bradley Beal thing blow up in their face. Them getting swept by the Timberwolves. It was just euphoric to watch them get destroyed by the Minnesota Timberwolves. KD, another failed big 3. We love to see it over here, but what do the Suns need? They need a center or point guard badly. We're going to have them take Yves Messi, who's the best center available. I don't like Kyle Filipowski that much. I think his stock has fallen a lot, especially after watching like more highlights of him. He's just a bit of a wonky player. I think Yves Messi is a safer player. It gives him defensive protection at the rim, a nice little lob threat for the big 3 to throw to. I can see him coming off the bench and giving them good minutes. Because when Nurkic was on the bench and you had like Bol or I forgot the other white dude's name, but on the floor, man, they just got torn the fuck up. And Yves Messi, I think, the center position's not that hard to play, especially his type of build. I think he'll be able to help them, especially in the regular season. Alrighty, guys, so here is my full first round mock draft. The reason I kind of stopped around 22 is, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I don't want to sit here and act like I know about all of these college players. Basically, where you see Tyler Smith and Kyle Filipowski, that's kind of the cutoff on where I feel comfortable talking about players. I do know about some of these guys, like especially Shannon Jr., Tyson, but I don't know enough. I haven't watched enough of them to be up here like yapping to you guys, acting like I know what I'm talking about. So I hope you guys respect the fact that I am admitting I am a casual when it comes to college basketball and overseas prospects. Don't get it twisted. I'm a hardcore NBA fan, but this is one of the first years I really tried to pay attention to the draft, the prospects. So I hope you guys really liked this mock draft. Let me know what you would switch, where I fumbled, where I messed up, where I hit on the picks. Thank you guys so much for watching. And once again, this is the first video, so please show some support. Join me on my journey. Help me grow. Let's build a community. It would mean the absolute world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a beautiful day.